So the question that was asked for this week is this: how can I find, or what should I look for as I'm looking for my life's mate or my spouse? So let me just give you some principles really that can help guide you in your pursuit for your life's mate. And also I'm going to give you a warning with each one. Number one is this: to wait on God. You say, I'm tired of waiting on God, right? You can think about it like this: sleep in the will of God. If you go back with me to the very beginning, God told Adam that he would make help meet for him, meaning there's going to be a perfect match for him, and that was Eve. And so if God desires for you to get married, then he has a specific person in mind. But also keep in mind, it's not God's desire that every single person be married. But as we consider Adam, he slept while God was preparing Eve. If you remember, God took a rib out, he created Eve and brought her to him. You say, well, that's kind of drastic. I don't exactly want God to put me to sleep and take my rib out to bring me my wife. But if you think about the instance with Boaz and Ruth, Boaz had been working all day. He goes in, they've been threshing the wheat, he goes to sleep, and Ruth brings herself, or really God brings Ruth to Boaz, and you know they would be married, and the lineage of Jesus Christ would come forth from that. You see, they both were doing God's will, and they essentially were sleeping in God's will until God brought that person to them. I would say this: be patient. Don't get ahead of God. I know sometimes it can be frustrating. Maybe you feel I'm getting on the later end here of my young adult years, and I'm wanting to get married, but I just don't see where that person is at. So don't get ahead of God and end up with the wrong person. God may need to direct you to a certain place or a certain area, or help you to cross paths with this person, or even vice versa for you to cross their path. And God may need to be preparing you. Think about this: for that other person, you may not be ready. If you're a guy, she may see you and go, no, he's not for me, because you're not ready, and vice versa. Remember this too: the average age to marry right now in America is around 30 years of age for both female and male. So don't panic, right? If you're in between that or even getting close, that's the average age to marry. Now, the warning for this would be this: if God has the perfect mate for you, which we know that he does, you best believe that Satan has his perfect mate for you too. And she will look, or he will look just right. You will think they fit the bill just right, but ultimately it will end up being nothing more than heartache, a disaster, because it's not God's will. And so we want to be mindful and wait on God. Secondly, I would say this: watch for these qualities, or these character traits that you should be looking for in that person. If you're a believer, then a believer needs to look for someone that is a believer. That's biblical. We see that. Not to be unequally yoked together. The Bible talks about a believer marrying a believer, and it also gives guidelines in case an unbeliever and a believer are married. And so it's biblical. A spouse will either do this: they will either lead you towards the Lord, or they will either draw you away. They will either encourage you in your walk with the Lord, or they will hinder your walk. And so some characteristics to look for: one, what is their relationship with the Lord? The fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, long-suffering, meekness, all those, the fruit of the Spirit. Ensure that they're exhibiting some of those. Those would be some great character qualities that a person would possess. They're humble. They love the Lord. Essentially, they're a friend. Relationships are built on the foundation of friendship. So ensure they're a friend, or their friendship is there. And trust. Make sure that you can trust this person as you're beginning to navigate the waters to move forward. If trust is broken multiple times, it's hard to build a marriage on a solid foundation when the foundation is shaky. So trust is huge. Be able to communicate back and forth. Make sure that person has your best interest in mind. And ultimately, you should sit down honestly and just make a list of what is important to you. Now, you may get 2 or 3 things on that list. Some of you may have a list that's only 2 or 3 things long. Some of you may have a list that's 30 things long. And unfortunately, you may never find someone if you have that many requirements. But understand that find what are those key things that you feel are important to have in a mate or in a relationship, and begin to seek people that would feel that, of course, being guided by God's will. And don't focus on the outside, right? Discover what is on the inside, that inner beauty, whether it's a man or a woman. So the warning would be this: don't go into the relationship thinking that you can change the person. I've seen that so many times, and the vast majority of the times it turns out ugly. The person says, "Well, I believe I can change that aspect. I know they're not hitting the requirements really the Lord is saying, and I think they'll get saved, once we get married," and then it never happens. Or they think they can change those certain aspects that are just really bothering them. So don't go into the relationship thinking that you can change the person. And then thirdly, I would say this: win with these qualities. You cannot expect to get from someone else what you are unwilling to give. Be sure that you're exhibiting the same qualities that you are looking for. How dare you and I desire for someone else to have these character traits, but you and I are unwilling to give them. And then win that person with servant love. What I mean by that is you're sacrificial, you're willing to serve, you follow the footsteps of Jesus Christ, and you're willing to give your life really a sacrifice to others. So in that relationship, may it be a relationship that's built on servant love. And the warning I would give here is he or she may be at this very moment looking at you and considering, is she the one? Oh, wow, I'm interested in him. But by the way you are acting, or by the way you are treating others around you in a negative way or in a wrong way or in an unbiblical way, could either distract or push them away. So by the way you're acting right now, who you're hanging out with, how you're being involved in church, how you're serving the Lord, could be the key indicator if she or he will even be interested in you. So it's vitally important that you be a true godly person now, not just towards the end when they're going to come around. So I would just say, as we sum it up, there's lots we could talk about, honestly, with this topic, but just trying to give you some principles that can guide you through this pursuit. But pray, begin praying for your future spouse. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And ask God to direct you to each other. Ultimately, you just need to pass the cross. And it may be a year, it may be 5 years. You may just need to be in God's will somewhere, sleeping in His will, as we've talked about. And look for the godly qualities in your possible spouse, but also exhibit those qualities. Be patient. Wait on God. And allow Him to direct your path to that perfect mate that will complete your life.